In our time, no one is surprised by the appearance of a regular drone or quadcopter in the sky. The first attempts to create unmanned aerial vehicles date back to the First World War. Back then, a remote control system was developed for striking enemy rear areas, but it was imperfect and vulnerable to electronic warfare. The first prototypes of reconnaissance drones, in the modern sense, appeared in the United States and the Soviet Union in the 1960s. Today, practically every army has its own fleet of both reconnaissance and strike UAVs. And this means of waging war, like tanks and airplanes once were, has become a game changer on the battlefield. Modern warfare is, without exaggeration, drone warfare. Starting from miniature scouts and strikers and ending with strategic multi-purpose vehicles, drones have fundamentally changed the perception of war. More and more armies are investing in the development of UAVs, and companies are offering increasingly advanced solutions. Today, we will consider the current state of the drone world, what new developments exist, and how they will affect the battles of the future. UAVs have become a tool of asymmetric warfare, allowing even small armies to defend against a much larger enemy. Every soldier is forced to be on constant alert and to look to the sky, which significantly affects both physical condition and morale. The same applies to armored vehicles and tanks. Once heavily armored machines have become easy prey for small quadcopters. In addition to actions on the front line, drones also have a huge impact on the enemy's rear. Thanks to their size, low cost, and stealthiness, more qualitative reconnaissance can be conducted, and mass strikes can be carried out on enemy objects even deep in the rear. Just think, previously, to conduct such operations, a country had to have strategic bombers, appropriate weapons, developed and prepared infrastructure, and highly qualified personnel. Now, all of this has been significantly reduced, and the effectiveness of target destruction has increased many times over. Moreover, thanks to precision and a wider range of weapons, strikes can be carried out on both large targets, like factories, and small targets, such as a small concentration of enemy troops or equipment. There is no longer a need to completely obliterate infrastructure objects and enemy cities. For example, previously, to destroy an airfield or seaport, thousands of tons of bombs had to be dropped on the target, with no guarantee of complete destruction due to low precision. Now, drones can conduct a raid, and thanks to high-precision weapons, destroy enemy aircraft or ships with direct hits. Moreover, even in the event of detection and destruction of the UAV, there is no threat to the crew, as it is located in a safe place hundreds of kilometers from the aircraft itself, which means that after receiving a new UAV, it can resume its duties. Special attention should be paid to the use of kamikaze strike drones. They have undoubtedly become a game changer in modern warfare, and Ukraine is a bright example of this. Developments by local engineers have allowed strikes deep into enemy territory, disrupting its logistics and reducing its military potential. The same applies to Russia, which, thanks to Iran and its own developments, has been able to deploy the use of strike UAVs, primarily Iranian Shaheds, partially replacing the lack of cruise and ballistic missiles. Of course, these are not all the advantages of this type of weapon, but like everything created by humans on Earth, drones have their disadvantages, from which tactics of use are formed. We will talk about all of this later, but for now, let's look at the most promising types of UAVs that exist in the world. Let's start with the most common, yet versatile and promising aircraft of the airplane type. As mentioned above, the first developments of such UAVs began in the times of World War I, and today this has evolved into an incredible variety of products for various purposes. According to NATO classification, all UAVs are divided into tactical, operational, and strategic, which in turn are divided into several classes. We will not list all the names of existing models, but only focus on the most notable ones. Firstly, let's talk about the very popular new UAV type called the Loyal Wingman. This is a fairly new development that began around the 2010s and has not yet been deployed in any army, but it has already made a huge impact on the world of armaments and future warfare. What once seemed impossible, such as robot battles or super fighters, is now becoming a reality. All of this opens up an incredible number of possibilities for countries possessing such weapons. Unlike existing standard types of UAVs, Loyal Wingmen have several technological advantages, such as the integration of artificial intelligence, deep stealth technology, integration, and the ability to interact with each other and other aircraft. Their shape has also been slightly modified to make the drones more similar to modern fighters. It is assumed that they will be able to take on some of the tasks of manned aircraft, such as striking in the rear, reconnaissance, and even air combat, thereby ensuring the safety of people and expanding the capabilities of military command. Firstly, let's discuss the American-Australian UAV called the MQ-28 Ghost Bat. The development of this new UAV was first reported in the mid-2010s. The Royal Australian Air Force wanted to acquire a multifunctional, unmanned aerial platform capable of conducting reconnaissance, striking at the enemy, operating both autonomously and in conjunction with other aircraft. Additionally, the UAV was required to incorporate all advanced technologies, such as artificial intelligence and stealth. A fundamental condition set by the Australian government was the complete production of the aircraft within the country. As a result, the American company Boeing was selected as the contractor, which established a local subsidiary, Boeing Australia. As a result of joint efforts of the Australian industry, the first full-scale prototype was demonstrated in March 2020, and in May 2020, it began testing. The first test flight of the MQ-28 took place in February 2021, making it the first aircraft fully designed and manufactured in Australia in 50 years. Flight tests of the UAV are ongoing, and it is already known that about 4 prototypes have been produced. The adoption of the MQ-28 into service is expected later this year. This aircraft is, without exaggeration, a revolutionary invention in the world of drones, which will also change the perception of future warfare. Thanks to the successful combination of modern materials, stealth technology, and artificial intelligence, the MQ-28 will be able to perform tasks that were previously inaccessible. Developers do not disclose exact specifications of the UAV, as well as the armament and equipment it can carry. However, it is assumed that bombs and missiles for striking ground targets, as well as engaging in air combat, can be placed on pylons. The expected range of the UAV will be 3,700 kilometers, with a combat radius of 1,700 kilometers. Additionally, it can be expanded through interaction with other aircraft. Also, according to experts, the nose section of the MQ-28 can be interchangeable and configured directly at the airfield. Just imagine, depending on the tasks, you can get a flying state-of-the-art camera, an electronic warfare station that jams all radio signals in the area, electromagnetic weapons, and a bunch of other adaptations. All of this opens up new possibilities for countries owning these UAVs and allows them to gain superiority over the enemy. Now let's move from Australia to the west coast of the USA. Engineers from the company Kratos there are developing a counterpart to the Australian Ghost Bat, the XQ-58 Valkyrie UAV. To someone unfamiliar with UAVs, it might initially seem like two identical aircraft, but despite their similarity, they do have their differences. The Valkyrie was first showcased in 2019, and, like most such developments, the exact specifications of the XQ-58 are unknown, but it is assumed that it will be used to escort fighters such as the F-15, F-22, F-35, as well as future NGAD fighters and B-21 Raider bombers. Some sources also report that the US has already begun operating Valkyrie drones, notably conducting joint flights with F-15EX fighters. The experience of the war in Ukraine shows that despite all their advantages and unique characteristics, drones are not completely invulnerable targets. Considering this, for effective strikes against the enemy, it is necessary to use at least a group of several drones. The same applies to reconnaissance missions. To constantly monitor a specific object, at least several UAVs are needed, otherwise the desired result will not be achieved. Additionally, most UAVs remain vulnerable to EW means, so it is necessary to continue improving military communication and implementing new communication methods. Another significant issue will be the cost reduction of aircraft for more mass production. Moreover, drones, unlike cruise and ballistic missiles, are cheaper and can be reusable, which also expands their application possibilities. In the future, this asymmetric means of warfare will become increasingly sophisticated, allowing its owners to achieve victory with less effort. This concludes our video. Thank you for watching until the end. Subscribe to our channel, activate notifications for new videos, and also leave a like and comment. All of this helps us in promoting our content, and it gives you the opportunity not to lose track of us. We wish you a good mood, and until we meet again.